Hi everyone, welcome to A Girl's Guide to Ghost Hunting. My name is India and today I'm going to be talking about the PSB7 Spirit Box.
I had a few of these devices in my younger days, except back then they were called transistor radios. They were a revolutionary device for people who liked music on the go. From 1954 to the mid to late 70s, they sold millions of them. And then came the Sony Walkman, which was introduced in 1979, I believe. These days, transistor radios are a must-have for the survivalist. But that is way too small a market to be profitable. But boy, is there a big market with ghost hunting. They are now called spirit boxes. And this particular model sells on Amazon for $70, which is about $55 more than any transistor radio I ever paid for. And with a sucker being born every minute, that's a big fucking market.
Now this little box right here is my absolute favorite piece of paranormal investigation equipment.
I'm sure it is, and very versatile. I mean, really, if you can't get a ghost to speak with you, you can listen to Beyonce, who is just as scary as any ghost.
At the end of the video, I am going to put in some audio and video evidence from my investigation of the Gribble House in Savannah, Georgia.
Oh, wow, your radio has a backlight. I'm jealous. I never had a radio with a backlight. Lucky you.
And you will be able to hear lots and lots of voices come through the spirit box. Lots of very clear, compelling voices.
Oh, I can hardly wait. I mean, I am wetting my pants in anticipation. No, really, the suspense is killing me. Then perhaps you can contact me.
And I am going to warn you, they're not for the faint of heart. It is quite creepy. It creeped me out. So if you're easily scared, don't watch it. I will put a warning up when that bit is coming up. So stay tuned to the end if you want to see some amazing, amazing evidence using this little piece of equipment.
All of these ghost hunting videos always claim to record clear, precise voices. So clear, they have to add text in the video. Same thing with the claim of recording an actual ghost, which is plain as day once they circle or place an arrow on it. It's a wonderful lesson in the power of suggestion.
The PSB7 Spirit Box was invented by a man named Gary Galka, who had a daughter who died in a car wreck when she was just a teenager. And after she passed away, he started smelling her scent around him and feeling her presence in a room. And he wanted to come up with a way to be able to communicate with her and hear her voice again. So he created things like the Mel meter and the spirit box.
Well, isn't that special?
Now this works by sweeping through every single radio frequency in less than a second. And you can change how fast it sweeps through, but it's always going to be...
Well, that's what radios do. Oh, the wonders of technology.
These sweeps are paired with a synthetic white noise, which is able to be manipulated by spirits to speak to us with.
Or maybe it's just a passing police car, or first responder, or even a taxi cab communicating with dispatch. Or just a random signal from a radio station. Out here in California, there is an AM station with the call letters KFI. Its receiver is licensed to operate at 50,000 watts. On a clear day, you can pick up KFI in Nevada, even Texas. What you're getting on your tweaked out radio could be anything.
Now, when you first get one of these, it can be quite confusing because there are quite a lot of buttons on here. But
it looks pretty self-explanatory to me. Nothing confusing about it.
So this one is power, obviously. You just press that.
Of course! Of course!
And it turns on. And right there you can hear the white noise that this box produces.
Would that be considered racist? Why not black noise or brown noise? Or just fucking noise?
This is the AM FM button. This will change if your spirit box is sweeping through AM frequencies or FM frequencies.
Of course! Of course!
Now the difference between the two frequencies is the AM frequency will give you more precise words, more pronounced words, and the FM frequency is a bit easier to hear. If you are using the AM frequency, you definitely want to use a speaker with it. Right here we have the volume down button and the volume up button. This will just change how loud your volume is. Sweep reverse and sweep forward button.
Of course, of course.
These two buttons just determine if you are scanning forwards through the radio bands or backwards through the radio bands. Then we have sweep rate. Sweep rate is how fast your device is sweeping through the radio bands.
Of course, of course.
So I've turned my Spirit Box on and you can see that my sweep rate up here is 100 milliseconds. This means that my Spirit Box is sweeping through all the radio stations at 1/10 of a second.
It has to be a joke. I cannot believe this is happening. I'm literally about to fucking kill myself and I'm not kidding.
The higher your milliseconds, the slower the sweep's going to be. So I prefer to use my Spirit Box on 100 milliseconds just because this is the fastest sweep and it eliminates the chance of any interference from radio stations.
Yes, I know. Nothing more annoying than turning on your radio and actually hearing radio stations.
Because if you do have it at a slower pace, you're going to hear radio DJs and songs that are playing on the radio. And you don't want any of that, so that's why we're going to sweep very, very quickly so there's no chance of, or a limited chance of bleed through from the radio stations.
A limited chance. So the possibility is still there. Thank you.
This button right here is just backlight. You can turn this on and off. I like to have it on just because I like to see the screen. Right here is your antenna. This you just pull out.
Yes, no transistor radio is complete without an antenna.
I choose to always have my antenna down. If you extend your antenna, again, you have more chance of bleed through from radio stations, interference from local radio stations, and I don't want that, so I always keep my antenna down. So on the side of the Spirit Box, you've got a place to put your headphones or your speaker, depending on what you want to use. Personally, I recommend the speaker. It's going to make it sound a lot louder. Than what you hear if you just use it like this. So to show you the difference that a speaker makes, what I'm going to do is put this in a reverse sweep. So this is the sound with no speaker. I'm going to plug the speaker in. Start asking my questions. If there's anybody here who'd like to communicate with me, I'd really like to talk to you today. Alright, so I'm not getting any voices on the FM frequency, so we're going to switch over to the AM frequency just so you can hear what that sounds like. Alright, so now we're on the AM frequency and you can tell it's quite a bit quieter. But any voices that come through are going to be more pronounced. I just want to communicate with any spirits in here today. My name is India, and I'm friendly, and I just want to know if there's anybody else here with me. How many people are here with me right now? 4.
What were you saying earlier in the video about clear and precise? What you're hearing is likely the faint signals from a radio station with the DJ saying it's 4 o'clock.
Who's here? Bernie?
That was music. Did you hear that? Let's play that back. That sounded like a music note. Let's hear it again.
Hi.
Oh, that was a good one. Hi, I am a DJ. I am what I play. Can't turn around, no. Can't turn around, no. I miss David Bowie. Really, it could be a ghost saying hi to you, and it could be the scanner on your radio locked on to a radio station for a brief moment. Or maybe it's picking up a cell phone conversation.
Beef.
Beef. Okay, you locked onto a radio commercial concerning the consumption of beef. Or maybe it's a talk show covering the subject of beef. All this proves is the scanner on your radio is functioning. And the only reason it's not remaining locked onto any given radio signal is because you have the antenna down. What were you talking about, unintelligible? That was the DJ saying, "I found it." Let's hear that again. Yeah, somebody called in, requested a song. The DJ looked through his database and said, he found it. You couldn't make that out? Jesus, I'm deaf in one ear and I heard what he said.
What was that? That was when you picked up the doll.
Greg?
Did that say Greg?
It sounded like it.
Rag? Maybe. How many spirits are in this room?
Again, 4? What, did they follow you from your house? Really? You sure that wasn't pre-recorded from before? I'm sorry, India, but that's just a little too coincidental. Are you even at the haunted house? Or are you still at home with the lights off? I mean, what the fuck? Trying to be objective here, but that's a little suspicious.
4.
Guess how many people were here?
Yeah, we said how many? Yeah, 4. What? Are there any slaves in this room?
You should. You should. Me? That sounds like a kid. Can you say my name? What? Wait.
Just a bunch of random words picked up by a radio scanning for a radio signal, but can't really lock onto it because you have the antenna down. She locked onto the Howard Stern show. Fuck you. Is there a hereafter? I don't know. It's highly unlikely. But to be intellectually honest, I don't know. And neither does India or anyone else. We see and hear things, but the eyes and the ears and the mind can be deceived. It's not a matter of science, it's a matter of common sense and being just a little objective. What we want to see and hear often conflicts with the reality of the situation. And if you really are in contact with a ghost, maybe you should take heed in those final words. Fuck you. Really, I see these videos of ghost hunters hanging out in a dark house, and supposedly they hear the ghosts say, "Get out." Yet they stay. I know if it was me on the other side, the last thing I would want is someone bugging me to talk with them through some tweaked out transistor radio. I'm trying to rest in peace, damn it. Thanks for stopping by and for tuning in, and please like, comment, share, and subscribe. And until we talk again, I want you all to be well and enjoy life.